All right, if the men in your life are driving you crazy, our next guest may offer some relief. She's the mother of 3 boys and the author of House of Testosterone, One Mom's Survival in a Household of Males. Please welcome Sharon O'Donnell. Good to have you with us, Sharon.
Nice to be here.
Show.
That's my house. That's my house.
So you've got 3 sons and a husband, and even your dog is a male.
Even my dog's a male, unfortunately. I love the dog, but he adds to the mix, definitely, with all the testosterone.
So what is the biggest challenge you've had to face dealing with all the testosterone around you?
Well, basically, it's knowing the effect and feeling the effect that all that testosterone does have on me. There's that lack of communication that a lot of guys have, that difference in communication that women and men have. And then, of course, there's all the competitiveness in the household, you know, racing to do this first. And even as they get older, it still doesn't go away. And the husband still plays into that, too. And, you know, sometimes you get to the point where you're thinking to yourself, well, you know, maybe bathroom humor is funny. I don't know. They seem to think so. And once you start thinking that way, it's time to get out of the house. And so just trying to juggle all those different male things going on and then saying, okay, it's time to back away and take some time to get away from that.
Well, we have some pictures, I think, of your entire family, right? Of the boys that are, oh my goodness.
Here you are.
There's the one sole female. That's cute. How old are they?
This is, of course, the one that's on now is a number of years ago, about 7 years ago. I have 3 sons, as you said. The oldest one will be 17 in July. The middle one will soon be 14, and then I have a 7-year-old. And that really helps me to see a lot of the differences between the ages, that age gap there. And it does get a little bit craziness going on because you've got the baseball and basketball and all that, and then you've got potty training at the same time and everything. And luckily, I'm past that now. So,
So what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned raising 3 boys and a husband?
Right, exactly. I think basically is trying to accept the differences, know that you're not going to communicate with that son the way you would with that daughter. For instance, a number of years ago, my oldest son, I think he was in 7th or 8th grade, and I went to pick him up in carpool from one of those middle school dances, and I was really wanting to know what happened, who he danced with, did he dance, you know, all that kind of thing. And so he gets in the car, and I'm trying to prod him and trying to get him to answer some of my questions. And in the meantime, as he's giving me these one-word answers, I look in the carpool line, car in front of me has girls getting into it. And they're just chattering away as soon as they get in there. And the mom is getting all the details that I want to get.
Exactly.
And you just have to know it's not going to be that kind of give and take with the son.
Well, you've got some great tips for moms out there who are dealing with the same thing you're dealing with. So let's get right into the first one. You say savor the moment. So what do you mean by that?
Right. In particular, as I say, with the age gap, I have that soon-to-be 17-year-old is 6'5". So when my 7-year-old says, Mom, can I climb onto your lap? Even though I might not be really feeling like that right now or feeling that nurturing at the end of a long day or something like that, I want to make sure I do take the time to savor that moment because I know that soon he might be 6'5".
Right. Exactly.
And so it's all that matter of perspective there.
You say we should also dig deeper. Tap into emotions.
Again, those one-word answers, like coming home from the dance, you get that a lot with how do you like the movie? And if there's something there that you really know your sons or husband really enjoy or something that really touches them, you want to make sure you bring that out and ask more than just ask more questions than just getting those one-word pat answers that they're so prone to give.
And finding time to connect, you say, is very important. Now, how do you find the time?
Finding that time that is the best for them to connect. I usually find that it's at nighttime when maybe their defenses are down a little bit and they're ready to talk about maybe something that's going on at school or that big test coming up. And then also driving. A lot of times when you're driving is a good time to connect. They don't have to make that eye contact, which a lot of males find to be a little bit more difficult than females do. And they might have something that they want to talk about, and that's a good time to do it.
And know when to step up and when to step back.
Right. Sometimes you have to advocate for your son, and sometimes you want to be able to let them advocate for themselves, particularly in the educational system that we have today, where it is set up more for female success, and some of the reading material and some of the focusing issues, they're all there, and I have seen that. And you have to make sure that, yes, you're there for them, but you also want to make sure you make them independent.
You must have learned something a lot, I would guess, about male-female relationships and how to relate to males that you could pass on to our viewers, our female viewers, who may be facing similar challenges.
Right. Well, yeah, I think it all comes down to that whole Mars-Venus thing, where you do have those differences, and it is scientifically documented that you have a basis of the testosterone that has the effect on the brain. And trust me, I really understand that. And sometimes you have to know that, yeah, that is true. And sometimes men seem to be, and boys seem to be sort of out to lunch, and you can't reach them sometimes. And sometimes in my household, I know that's to be true. And when you get to the point where you think, geez, they're being rude to me or they're not listening, They're not doing that on purpose. They're
Right.
not doing that to be mean, to be rude. They really are sincerely oblivious about some things. And not to be stereotypical or to be harsh on males, but that's what I've learned in my House of Testosterone.
What? No.
I almost
Sharon,
repeated it for you.
I know, it's like a natural with you. It's a habit. Well, you have
Don't
a
do
website
that.
too, by the way, momsofboys.org.
Momsofboys.org.
And the book is House of Testosterone. What a great cover, too, and it's a great book.
Very informative and entertaining. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Oh, thank you
so
I
much.
appreciate it.